What's going up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Cloud Pilot podcast. In this episode, we are going to talk about one of the most relevant topics in the industry, cloud certifications. And in cloud certifications, today we are going to discuss about GCP certification. To talk about GCP certifications, we have one of the best people out there. And today we are having the global head of Google Cloud certifications, Magda Jary, to talk about that. Welcome, Magda. Thank you so much for accepting my invite, and it's absolutely a pleasure to have you in my podcast.
Thank you so much and happy to be here.
Awesome. Magda, why don't you take a few moments to talk about your background, how you came into Google Cloud?
Absolutely. So really thinking about my background, the one theme that definitely comes up is I've always been a very dedicated learner. So even as a student, I used to pursue 3 master's degrees, background in business, economics, and international management, and additional degree in journalism on the side. So I've always been very passionate and just having a lot of respect to gaining knowledge and the opportunities that this provides. I also probably consider myself a bit of a global citizen. So definitely the job at Google attracted me, gave me lots of opportunities to both transfer within the company, but also meet many wonderful people across the world. And Google is literally my first job straight from university. So it's been 14 years. And to your point, I now lead the Google Cloud credentials and certifications for Google Cloud globally.
14 years at Google, and you're one of the early employees. It's indeed incredible. When did you join the cloud domain, or when did you decide you would want to work in the cloud domain?
So the first 2 years at Google, I did spend on the ad side. And I remember after the first 2 years, I knew for sure that I love Google's culture and the way we work and such an incredible opportunity everywhere. However, I was particularly attracted to this so-called back then startup part of Google, and that was back in 2010. So I joined the team that's now known to everyone as Google Cloud and definitely has grown massively. And I've been very fortunate to really, to some extent, organically grow with the business throughout a variety of roles. I used to lead a change management practice and partner enablement, and ultimately this has led me to the world of learning, credentials, and certifications specifically, and that's definitely the space I enjoy a lot and a lot of opportunity for impact.
I am one of the biggest evangelists for Google Cloud, and in fact, I'm not sure if I'm right or not, but I was around 21 years old when I passed my Google Cloud Professional Cloud Architect certification. So perhaps
That's
maybe
amazing.
most youngest people out there.
Big congratulations. Absolutely a great achievement.
Thank you so much. About Google's work culture, uh, you mentioned that Google's work culture has influenced so much. Can you tell a bit about the culture at Google? We all would be interested to know how, Google tries to cultivate the best out of us.
Yes, definitely couldn't agree more. It's a great differentiator and one of the very important reasons for me personally to stay around and definitely planning to stay for the very foreseeable future. And again, 14 years and counting. So again, culture, people is such an important aspect. And just a little disclaimer, I could really, I think, talk about this topic in itself for a long time. I used to deliver keynotes at events about Google's culture of innovation. So again, this is a very topic on its own. But let me give you maybe a little sample of Google's culture in action. So I do mention that learning is something really important for me personally, and a culture that supports learning is also very important for me. So within Google, we have a program that's called G2G. And the G stands for Googler, so Googler to Googler. This is essentially a learning program where anyone who has a passion for a certain skill can volunteer and teach others, right? So you have great offerings, trainings, workshops delivered by your fellow colleagues, Googlers who teach about the topics that they are passionate about. So one of the topics for me that I'm really interested in and that's important for me personally is mindfulness and meditation. So my G2G contribution is to teach other Googlers mindfulness and meditation. So I lead regular workshops and classes in this capacity as well. And I think, again, this is a very unique part of Google's culture to have access to opportunities like this and also being able to contribute to the culture in this way.
And now coming back to GCP certifications, can you tell us about what is GCP certification? What are the different GCP certifications and what importance does it have in the industry? I know it's so important, maybe on your own words.
Absolutely. So as you very well know from your personal experience, certifications are really, I think, have always been a very important part of the IT industry. And now with this massive growth of cloud, really gaining on importance even more because the market really needs skilled people. And certification is really a professional stamp of approval, right? Like validating that a given person has the skill sets, knowledge that's needed to perform a certain job role.
Yeah.
So Google Cloud certifications are focused on job roles. So you will find exams like Associate Cloud Engineer or Professional Cloud Network Engineer or DevOps Engineer. So again, they focus around validating your skill set around a given job role. We have 3 levels of our exams. We have one exam on the fundamental level, the brand new Cloud Digital Leader. We have an associate exam with the Associate Cloud Engineer, and the remaining exams are on the professional level. All of the job role-based exams, so the associate and professional level, really require hands-on, practical industry experience. So it's really a journey and a path to get there. You need to have the right level of exposure to projects and really gain your expertise through hands-on and solving business problems. So now a little bit more about the importance to your question. The core importance of certifications for the market is to really address the need for the fast-growing cloud skills, right? There's a demand in the market for these types of skills. There are benefits and there's importance for employers, right? Employers want to make sure that the people they hire or people they put on projects have the right skills to do the job. And then ultimately for the individual, so for the person who decides to pursue the exam, the importance is, again, setting a professional, personal goal of achieving this skills validation, and then opens many doors in terms of career opportunities, provides opportunities both within your current job or for job seekers, definitely helps with your resume. And then again, ultimately being able to validate that the skills that are a benchmark on a given job role, that you have all these skills and it's proven by your achievement of the certification. So I think that would be the short summary of the importance.
Yeah, I mean, from my personal experience, I can definitely tell how much important it is because, it played a crucial role in landing me, an awesome job in the industry right now. So I'm in a very good place right now, thanks to GCP certifications.
Great, and congratulations. And I'm always really touched with the stories from our community members. And to your point, many people finding great career opportunities, entering the job market or changing careers. I also wanted to highlight the fact that I've heard from many wonderful long-term professionals who just decided to go for something new, right? Like they've been an industry expert in one domain for many years, and they noticed that cloud is something new. Maybe it's time for me to gain the skill set to really stay competitive. And this has led them to also some amazing next level career opportunities. So it's really, there's something for everyone, regardless of your part of the journey in your kind of professional career right now.
Yeah, indeed. It really plays a life changer role. It really played in mine. So I can say it would definitely play a life changing role in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now coming to the benefits, what is the benefit of being a Google Cloud certified engineer or a professional?
So let me start. There's pretty much a list of benefits. So upon achieving your certification, you receive a digital badge and a certificate. So you can display this in your email signature, share it on your professional networks, add it to your resume. You have access to a community of experts, recognition at select events. You also have access to certified directory. For our professional level exams, we offer swag. And then I think, the benefit of being proud of yourself and celebrating an achievement, I think that's something really important as well. Any other benefits that you have experienced?
I've switched two roles right now. I initially started with one Big Four company, then I came back to a Google Cloud Premier partner. So, both of these, GCP certifications was one of the key roles because one of the requirement was to get that certifications after you join. So when I talk about the Big Four, they called me, they reached out to me, seeing my GCP credentials, from the credential directory. So that was one blessing from that side. And then, when I wanted to switch to a Google Cloud Premier partner, the first thing they asked me was, do you have any GCP certifications? And when I told them that I have the certifications, including the architect certifications, they told me, my path is more easier because, I already had that, and they wanted people to, get trained and get that certifications after they join. But I had that beforehand. So that was definitely giving me a lot of advantage among the others. Now, coming to the next demand, we talked about the benefits, we talked about the importance. Now, coming to the demand of, certified people, I have read that, previously in 2022, professional cloud architect was the highest paying job. And last year it was the data engineer. So, how has been the trend, and, what are the demands of Google Cloud certified professional?
So the survey results you are referring to is the Global Knowledge Survey run annually. And indeed, for the last few years, we had Cloud Architect as the #1 top paid certification, and then recently dropped to #2, only to be replaced by the professional data engineer. So I think it definitely speaks to still the demand side, even more broadly, just the huge demand for cloud skill sets in general, right? Like between the first quarter of 2019 and the first quarter of 2021, job postings looking for cloud skills grew over 40%. So it's really across the board. And then depending on the sources, we definitely see different numbers, but the very similar message, like the cloud skills are growing there, and Google Cloud skills in particular are noticing a huge amount of growth and demand. So definitely a great opportunity to leverage this momentum and the market trends and really invest in your professional future.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I have seen a lot of people switching from other clouds to Google Cloud, just because the demand is increasing. And I have been trying to, motivate more people to learn that. So, and, in fact, I am also successful in my attempt of, motivating students to learn Google Cloud. And happy to say that I have inspired more than 3,000 people to start learning Google Cloud.
Amazing. Congratulations. This is really awesome. I love the community generated learning, right? When we are encouraged or inspired by someone around us, I think that's very powerful. So great job, and thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you so much. I feel like it's my duty to, motivate people to learn something, because I believe that, we are an average of people surrounding us. So if we want to be the best, we have to also uplift others around us. So that's one which I always follow.
Very beautiful.
And yeah, so, now coming to the roadmaps, how do we prepare for each career, or, what are the different roadmap on GCP certifications? I have, I know that we have infra modernization, we have app modernization, different roles and tracks. So is there any roadmap for these GCP certifications?
So to your point, exactly, one lens we could take is by technology track, right? So we have certifications that align with data tracks or infrastructure or app modernization, to your point. And what I typically recommend is really start with the exam, the job role that most aligns with what you are actually doing, right? Because that's the goal of the certification, to validate your ability to perform a given job role. And for many of community members, candidates, this is it, right? Like one certification is a wonderful achievement. Some approach it as more of a journey or a path, right? So maybe you start with one exam. For example, the professional cloud architect may give you a very broad, nice scope, and then you may want to go even more deeply into network security or developer, right? Or for some people, the path might be through the associate cloud engineer, right? So start first with these very hands-on console management skill sets and then build towards a professional exam. So definitely multiple options available. I just typically recommend start with one, master the craft, and then, yeah, if there's a need, definitely pursue a further certification path as well.
Getting a starting point is definitely crucial. I started with the infra. I've been going on with the infra, but I'm now trying to, step my foot into other domains like network and security. So really helpful. Once we have the basics, we can sail through easily.
Yes.
And, do you have any tips to prepare for these GCP certifications? What options do we have from Google to prepare for these certifications?
Absolutely. So the number one tip I give is please start with the exam guide. This is literally your source of truth for all the domains that the exam covers. So there shouldn't be any surprises. Every single topic that the exam guide covers is what the exam actually covers. So start with the exam guide and really use it as your study guide. Check things off the list once you already are familiar with the topic, and you'll be on track. So again, exam guide is your good friend. It's all available on the certification website. And then other resources that you'll also find on the certification website are trainings and both on demand or in person, but also the hands-on experience through the Cloud Skills Boost platform, and specifically skill badges are a really wonderful tool to get this hands-on muscle going. So practice, right? Like through skills boost, through trainings. If you have like knowledge gaps, take your time and study. I'm a huge fan of social learning and accountability. So I always recommend getting a mentor or a study buddy or creating a study group. I think it's a little more fun and helpful to have people who share the same goal with you on this journey. You'll find sample questions available, so that's also a great tool. For some of our exams, we have even books and study guides in the book format. And we have recently launched as Google Cloud brand new preparing for your certification journey trainings. They are much more diagnostic and really help you quickly identify your study plan and the main gaps you have towards a specific exam. So this is currently available for our associate cloud engineer and professional cloud network engineer exams, and a few more will be available very shortly. And maybe another preparation tip I would share is just really have a timeline in mind, right? Like book your exam. Like let's say if you know that this will take you more or less 3 months to get ready, if you study like a few hours per week, just book this, put this in your calendar, have this end goal in mind, and just study accordingly. So, and then of course, celebrate, share your achievement, and maybe the ultimate thing that I also find very helpful is really study to learn, to really understand, to really be able to solve these problems. And passing the exam will be a positive outcome of this attitude, because once you understand, once you know these topics, you'll be successful sooner or later, right? Just don't only focus on like I have to pass the exam. Just really reframe it to really understand the technology and just master the given job role. Any other tips that you would share for preparing for the exams?
So, one of the tips, you have in fact covered almost all, but what I think is, when we prepare, having some study groups is actually very good for us because it keeps us motivated, because it's not about relying on a set of people, but rather, trying to, become the best in the group. So if everybody starts to, think that I should, or if they starts to decide that, they should become the best in the group, if everybody starts to think same, then there's a high chance that everybody is going to be the best. So, having a study group is a very good idea. And then again, hands-on experience is absolutely crucial because, from my associate cloud engineering experience, I took it back in 2020. So again, I didn't have much experience on cloud, but, it was those set of labs where I did my hands-on and build some knowledge around these hands-on. I was actually able to answer those questions based on the situations which I faced in the hands-on experience. So it was really crucial. Some of the questions, I didn't really understand because given the options, I was confused. But then again, I started to read it again and again, and I thought this was the situation I faced sometime back in this particular lab. So, I just went back to the lab. I just, taught myself how I worked the entire thing out throughout the lab. And then I came to know that this was what I did. And, in that way, I could find an answer. So I was trying to, find some similar answers, and I could find the answer to that question. So it really helped, so I think the practical experience is too much important. Do you have any advices to give to those aspiring cloud people out there?
I think the advice I would share, it's really worth it. Just give it a try, really in a spirit of being ready for opportunities, right? And creating these opportunities for you. And if cloud and all this space is super new for you, there are so many wonderful like entry level resources, right? I really recommend, if you like technical topics, please explore the Cloud Tech channel on YouTube. Some really wonderful tutorials, videos from our developer relations team. I mentioned Cloud Skills Boost, gives you access to lots of training and hands-on resources. So go for the first skill batch and really get some hands-on experience. And if this is too technical and maybe you are much more inclined towards the business side of cloud, then the brand new Cloud Digital Leader is really a wonderful opportunity to understand cloud and being really very well positioned to have this dialogue with technical teams in the future, because you'll be really fluent in all the cloud concepts. So I think there are multiple entry points, even if, again, you're brand new to the space. And again, if you do have already a lot of industry experience, just see what's interesting. There are so many interesting, exciting technologies these days, and whether that's a certification on a job role level, that would be your goal, or maybe mastering a more kind of specific skill set through our skills batch program. Really plenty of opportunities to learn and then show the skill set to the world. So just a warm invitation to leverage this opportunity. Yeah, best of luck.
Absolutely. This piece of advice is so important. This is definitely going to help a lot of people. So yeah, thank you so much for spending your valuable time, interacting with our audience and talking about GCP certifications. And I'm very sure that everybody is going to find it very helpful.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much also for sharing your experience and for hosting this podcast. Really a pleasure.
Yeah. In fact, it is my pleasure to have you in the podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I hope this has helped you enough. We'll catch up soon in another podcast with another topic. Till then, it's me, the Cloud Pilot, signing off. See you.